Jalen. We have to go to monthly meetings at the Florida Baptist and to keep up your training. And so we were in the meeting one night, and they were talking about this little boy they had just gotten in, and they were just talking about how bad he was. And I was like, oh, Lord, thank you. Thank you that, we didn't get him. Well, that's the wrong thing to say.
To the Lord.
But anyway, that night, I could not sleep all night that night because the Lord started convicting me about taking him. And I was just wrestling. I was like, Lord, this little boy's got some strong issues they're talking about. And I just don't think I can do that. Anyway, by 7:30 that morning, I had said yes to the Lord because I knew, like I said, all night long, I just couldn't get him off my mind. Every time I dozed off, I'd wake back up, and the Lord just had him before me. So at 9 o'clock when the agency opened, I called and I said to the director over there, I said, listen, I'll take him. And they're like, are you sure? He's got a lot of issues and stuff, and we really think he probably needs to stay on campus. And on campus is usually the kids that they really can't place in homes. And I said, look, I've done my part. I was obedient to the Holy Spirit. I said, the Lord has just kept him on my mind all night. And I said, so I've been obedient to the Holy Spirit. Now the ball is in your court. Whatever you decide to do, it's between you and God.
That's right.
And because I called, I'm willing to take him, and so she was like, okay, well, I'll call you back, Miss Betty, and let you know. And I was like, okay.
And go ahead, Vicki. Go ahead,
I have a question for you. 2 questions. How old is the oldest child that comes through the agency? That's number 1. And the children that are left that are not placeable, what's the emotional atmosphere like there with them?
I don't know that much about it because, I don't really deal that much with the children out there, but they seem, from what time I've spent with them in get-togethers and cookouts, that their attitude is pretty good.
Well, I know, Vicki, to say something to the questions that you're asking. I know when we were going through the training, they were telling us that the kids, like the little boy that you were saying that they said he had a lot of issues going on, they were saying that a lot of times with those kids, see, because if they place them in your home, and let's say they placed them in my home, and they called the agent came out to do an assessment, and that child said that I had hit them, they would immediately move that child from the home. And so a lot of times, and they write that up, in your file, in my file. And so a lot of times they don't like to give you those kids who really got a lot of issues going on because they try to keep your record clean, with the agent. So so that's that's why that they say sometimes they'd rather leave them on site.
On campus,
on campus, so that won't be in your record that, because they will, you can go through all day long saying, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, but
and
they document it.
And I'll say, knowing Betty as I know that every child that comes through there is going to be taken care of, period. Emotionally, physically, and everything. But the flip side of that is we've heard horror stories of foster parents
that's right, that have abused them,
have abused and everything. And you know what brought, now this wasn't a foster parent, this is what brought back in my mind. It's been maybe a month or so ago here in Duval County where they had the sex offender in their house. The mother and dad knew it, and he was literally sleeping in the same bed or in the same room with their 9-year-old. And I think it was DCF or whatever, Children and Families was over there in this is stuff I can't comprehend, stuff like that. I just don't understand it. I'll never will understand it. And we're going to flip this a little around back to and I know God called you, but because of the ministry Betty's been in, and because she works with the inner city kids, I've been
Yes, she
out
does.
there.
Yeah.
I've been out in some of the apartment complexes. I've literally, when the children, we have them on a mat or wherever, you know, on the mat, I'll say, and I've literally stood between the children, and I knew drug deals with guns were going on behind me.
Yeah,
Right.
And
that's
we just,
right.
all I knew was to pray.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Betty's been in some places, you know, like that. So with children today and the times that we're in, we when know to me the spirit is a completely different spirit than when we all grew up.
It is, yeah.
And even getting back to the mothers today, mothers don't know what to do. I mean, even with children that are in rebellion, I can't, well, my children, they were in a form of rebellion at a certain age, but I didn't let them overrun me. I mean, they tried to. I mean, I had one of my girls, okay, and she was about 12 or 13, and she just knew that she was going to walk out that door at 8 o'clock at night when I told her no, she couldn't. And I'm like, honey, I brought you in, I'll take you out. I mean, you know, I mean, what I'm saying to say that, and we really, I mean, she came to the door, I came to the door, and I'm like, you got to come through me before you get to the door. And then she picked the phone, she said, I'm going to call child abuse on you. I said, here, you think you got troubles now? You call child abuse. You know, of course, I wasn't abusing her, not at that time, nor will I ever, but I maybe should have, no. But I mean, she didn't leave, but what I'm saying is, we're in a fine line because the children know that the parent can't do so much because then they're going to get child abuse, and the parent, a good parent don't know how to kind of handle it because we've let the pendulum swing over here, then we let the pendulum swing over there, and we've got to come back to a balance. Do you remember in school, and kids our age, I remember when the dean of boys and the dean of girls, you had a paddle, and they paddled you. Now today,
well, years ago, I think it was in the 60s, but I'm not that positive. There was a woman from Long Island, and she was a big deal. She lectured, she started with the universities and gradually worked her way down to the younger, until she went to the very young children. The one line that I remember her saying is, no one from on high can tell you what to do. And she encouraged the kids, the young adults, the teenagers, the young kids, if you are not allowed to express yourself, they are hindering you from growth. I know this because I was involved a little bit of the changes that were going on in school. And she really, that's when the change came. Why, you could sue your parents? I said, wait a minute, did I hear that right?